Hello and welcome to Channel 14 National News at 9, the most trusted news source in the nation. I'm Jane Bennett.
And I'm Brittany Barnes.
And here's your national update. In the economy, as people continue to trust and withdraw their money from the banks, we see an all-time high in bankrupt rates amongst banks. This is leading the economy into a downward spiral as the run on bank continues to weaken morale and national economy. Also at an all-time high rate is the unemployment. As we see rates of 25% plus, it's an all-time low for the nation as far as employment standards go. The desperation felt amongst the nation is clear, and as we've been feeling this way for quite a while and we're continuing into a downward spiral, hopefully at its lowest point, we see the need for a new morale. And perhaps that new morale can be found in our new president, or to-be new president, Franklin D. Roosevelt. Franklin D. Roosevelt, recently elected, is now waiting for inauguration as our current president, President Hoover, sits as more of a standing duck waiting for FDR to take his place. FDR, a young New York man and a Harvard graduate, is promising a new deal. This new deal, which he has been rather withheld on information, but has promised will change, is telling us that we will increase the hopes of the nation. He's promising us an improvement of the economy and is promising to create jobs, what will retain and create the new economy. In these hopes, we see a nation that is finally might be pulled out of this absolute disaster. And now, over to Bethy with everything you need to know about this year's movies.
Thanks, Jane. First up, we have the scoop on the new way to watch movies, the drive-in movie theater. The first one opened up June 6th in Camden, New Jersey. With me today, I have Richard Hollingshed, the inventor of this phenomenon. Tell me, Richard, a little bit about your invention.
Well, I've always liked cars and movies, so naturally I want to put them together. I invented an outdoor theater where movie enthusiasts like myself could watch it from their cars.
What amazing feat! How did this come to be?
Well, I was in the driveway and I put a 1928 Kodak projector on the hood of my car, grabbed a sheet, nailed it to a couple trees, and then put a radio behind it for sound.
How astounding! What were some of your obstacles you had to overcome?
Well, weather was always a concern, so I had to make some mock conditions to adjust my theater accordingly. Like I used a sprinkler for rain.
How innovative! How much does it cost?
25 cents a car and 25 cents a person.
Well, thanks, Richard, and good luck. Next up, we have the Hollywood scandal. In the new movie Ecstasy, which came out January 20th, Hedy Lamarr is credited to be the first actress to do a nude scene in a movie ever. The German film was made in Vienna, Austria. It's in German, but there's no dialogue, so it's very easy to follow. In the movie, Lamarr swims in the nude and runs around the countryside naked. Scandalous. Lastly, we have the new movie King Kong. This very first over-the-top sci-fi film features Fay Wray, Bruce Cabot, and Robert Armstrong. It came out March 2nd with amazing reviews still.
I can't imagine a movie like this to exist. I mean, a giant ape dying in an attempt to possess such a beautiful woman? It's just spectacular.
The animation in this movie is credited to Willis O'Brien. Back to you, Jane.
Thanks, Bethy.
Now, for today's breaking news, today is a day of history. During the 1920s, Prohibition began and extended a long, lengthy 13-year period that banned the transportation and sale of alcohol, yet never really banned drinking itself. The consumption of alcohol was approved for medical and religious purposes. Yet during the beginning of Prohibition, crime rates went up and so did bootlegging. Illegally imported alcohol from other countries such as Canada, Mexico, and the Caribbean took place. Now all this is over. Prohibition has been lifted off of all 50 states. Due to this lift, the transportation and sale of alcohol may begin once again. Now for our cultural update. In this picture, you see a mother surrounded by two children that are both starving. This picture was taken by a photographer who was passing by the starving family and paused to take 6 pictures of the family in 10 minutes. The woman in this picture is Florence Owens Thompson. The Great Depression struck her and her 7 children tremendously, although only 2 of the 7 children are shown in this picture. Florence and her family took to the road to find work in Watsonville, but their car chain broke on their car and therefore could not make it to Watsonville. They were trying to find work, but they had to stop to make a pit stop to fix the car chain, where the photographer saw the the seven-person family and then took 6 pictures of them. And this picture is an iconic photo that will define the Great Depression.
Here with me today is the migrant mother, Florence Owens Thompson. How you feeling today, Florence?
I be hungry. My 7 children be hungry. My husband be hungry. We be stuck. We be hungry.
I can tell. So why are only 2 of your 6 children in the photo?
Well, there's 3. Billy and Mandy were fighting over a loaf of bread, so I told them to huddle close and pray for food. And then little Timmy was in my arms because he be hungry.
How did the depression hit your family?
Well, the Depression left us without anything. We had no possessions. We had no money. We had no food. We be hungry.
I can tell. So how did your husband lose his job?
Well, the Dust Bowl got rid of all of our crops, so we had nothing to eat. So we took off looking for food and jobs and money, and we still be hungry.
Well, thank you for taking time out of your horrible day to have this interview. So, have a nice day.
And now for a weather forecast, we'll give it over to Angie.
Thanks, Jane. Winds have been unusually high over the past few days and are carrying large amounts of soil that have been settling all over the eastern United States. These soils have been starting in Kansas, North and South Dakota, Oklahoma, and Texas, and are landing in states as far away as New York and Pennsylvania. As you can see, these storms are just massive, with thick black dust that you can hardly see through. These storms are devastating to anyone in the area, so please stay safe by staying indoors and wearing protective gear. This week's weather will be hot, with very clear skies. We'll be seeing record-breaking high temperatures today at 112 degrees, tomorrow at 110 degrees, and 2 days from now at 107 degrees. This dramatic heat wave has affected many people, putting them in hospitals from heat stroke and dehydration. Accompanied with this high heat, there will be strong winds starting near the Atlantic coast. These strong winds are believed to be the 6th hurricane of this season. With the 5th hurricane being so disastrous, we're unsure of how this will pan out. It is believed that this one will hit around the Virginia coast and travel inland as far as Kentucky.
Thanks, Angie.
Okay. And now here's Miranda with your sports report.
As the nation's economy continues to drop, the world of sports is reflecting the struggles of the time. Baseball is seeing a significant drop in attendance, with a total attendance of 11 million this season, compared to 17 million in 1929. The Cincinnati Reds officially declared bankruptcy, and nearly all 16 teams have formed a receivership, with the Cincinnati Reds, St. Louis Browns, Philadelphia Phillies, and the Boston Braves in the worst condition. On October 7th, the New York Giants won their first World Series since 1922. After a 2.5-hour game against the Washington Senators, Mel Ott hit a home run, winning for the Giants 4-3 in the 10th inning. College football continues as it approaches its halfway point of the season. On October 14th, Michigan beat Cornell 40-0. Princeton wins 45-0 over Williams for their second shutout of the season, and Tennessee witnessed its first defeat since 1930.
Thanks, Miranda.
From all of us here at Channel 14 National News at 9 here in Washington, D.C., we wish you a good night.